I was attaching emotions to eating. You know, like eating isn't, you shouldn't be eating to feel happy. You should be happy and then just eating because you're happy. Like, Alright, so there's 149 comments. We'll see how much I get through all the comments. I definitely want to address all the ones that you guys asked without repetition and stuff like that. So we'll just take it step by step and we'll see how long this video actually is. Okay, so first question. Do you think you will continue living in California for the long term? If you guys don't already know, I live in Los Angeles, California, currently in Hollywood. And do I see myself living in California for the long term? Definitely. I'm coming from New Jersey. I originally was born and raised in New Jersey, and being on the West Coast is just a whole different type of lifestyle, way of living, and it's something that I fell in love with. And I like warm weather. I never got used to the cold being in New Jersey, being on the East Coast, Northeast Coast specifically. So seeing myself in California, somewhere warm, is where I see myself. And I love the atmosphere here. I love the grind. I love how people are all doing their own thing and really trying to make a future for themselves and doing everything it takes. It's very motivating to live here, and I'm just super thankful. Yes, I do see myself living in California in the long term. Whether it is Los Angeles, I'm not sure, but definitely have California as a home base. How many calories do you eat in a day? Just curious. This is from Elizabeth, and I eat between like 18 to 2200 calories in a day. I don't really go too far below that. Too much of a deficit, like I've talked about, will cause your body to plateau and think that it's starving, and you don't want to ever be starving. So you want to eat to feel satisfied. I would never I don't try to like eat to overeat. I just want to eat to feel satisfied, and I try to listen to my body. So if I feel like I need more calories, I put them in. If I feel like I'm full, then I don't eat. So I've really learned to listen to my body. After taking a year off from competing, I spent a lot of time listening and figuring out what feels right and what doesn't, and seeing how my body responds. So right now, you guys have seen in my previous videos me talking about my new diet and a new diet breakdown, and basically how many calories I'm eating in a day, between 1800 to 2200 depending on the day. Somebody said, how much weight did you gain from the last time you competed? I gained about 25 pounds, and that may sound like a lot, but I was extremely lean. I'll put a picture right here. Extremely lean, and I went through a lot of different internal health issues as far as losing my period for 7 years. And 7 years, I lost it before I even got into competing, and then competing, like getting even lower body fat percentage, actually caused more damage. Not the fact that competing did, but the fact that I just got too low. I allowed myself to go without a period for too long, and I had a lot of repercussions from it. So right now I am focused on long-term healthy lifestyle, and I feel amazing. I've been able to correct a lot of the problems that I did have, and I'm slowly doing that every single day. Miranda, my client Miranda. What is the best and worst thing you've experienced since moving into Hollywood? So if you guys don't know already, when I first moved to California, I first moved to Venice. That was an experience. I moved into downtown LA. That was another experience. And now I am in Hollywood. So she said the best and worst thing that I've experienced. I don't actually have like a worst thing that I've experienced. I mean, there is like a lot of homeless people, but there's homeless people throughout California. I mean, I'm coming from Venice. Like, I literally had homeless people like sleeping outside my apartment building. So I would say like that's the most interesting part of California, where when I lived in New Jersey, you don't see southern New Jersey, suburban, like you don't see homeless people just sitting on the floor. So that is definitely something that you get used to while living in Los Angeles. But they're cool. Like, they really don't mean any harm to the actual person. I mean, unless you were to go mess with them. But other than that, like, I do feel very safe. And then the best thing I've experienced, seeing like really big people who are pretty well known, like pretty like celebrity status, stuff like that. It's been really cool like living in Hollywood and seeing people who are so creative and artistic, and music, dance, YouTube, whatever. People here are very, very creative, and I love to see like all forms of expression in living in Hollywood. So it's really cool, and I love to see the Hollywood sign every single day. I can actually see it right now. So I do, and it sort of like really motivates me. B. Nelly Brennan, what is your favorite vegan place to eat with B. Nelly? I would definitely say the vegan joint was the best spot I've eaten in Santa Monica with you, and that was the first vegan meal I actually had in LA, and place was pretty bomb. We had breakfast there, and I'd have to say it really didn't taste like vegan food, but it was delicious. Justin Muller 7, would you ever compete in a bodybuilding show again? I don't know as far as moving forward about competing again. I just want to be healthy and happy, and right now I currently am a coach for girls who do compete, so I do put a lot of the emphasis on them. Competing myself does take up a lot of time and energy, and I put a lot of that towards them, and I'm going to be going to their shows this year, and I want to really give my all to that. And with myself, I am in a weight loss process. I am following a specific regimen, and if I were to get that lean again, or somewhere close to it, maybe I would consider it. But as of right now, I have no plans to compete. Will you be at the Arnold's? I'm actually not sure if I'll be at the Arnold this year. I know I'll definitely be at the LA Fit Expo, but odds are I probably won't go to the Arnold. I've been to the Arnold about 4 years in a row now, and it is getting pretty redundant as far as like the expos are concerned. It is a very crowded expo, and I don't know, I really love the LA Fit Expo, and I love going to shows, and I'm gonna maybe spend my time traveling for my girls instead of like going to the expo. I definitely want to be at their shows in other states if I could do that. Make That Change Fitness said, your recommendation on how to ignore late night snacking. I definitely been in your place where you've want something late at night and you're totally like, you're craving something, and my best advice is to either drink like a really large cup of tea, and if not, like brush your teeth, because when you brush your teeth, it sort of like prevents you from like going to eat something because you just cleaned your teeth. And maybe sounds like something really simple, but that does help me. Like if I know that I really want something, I brush my teeth and just go to bed. If you really want something late at night, it's not bad to eat things late at night. It's like a source of good protein, lean sources of protein like chicken, egg whites, and I love to eat like the plantains at night. They're like a very high resistance starch. If you aren't sure what resistant starches are, make sure you check out this video where I explain all about resistant starches. Yeah, so, but as far as late night snacking, if you don't keep food in your house that you know like isn't really good for you, then, or you know that you're gonna like binge on and snack on, then don't put it in the house. You know, like if it's out of sight, out of mind, and I feel like that does really help me. I don't buy any food that I know that like I'm just gonna easily snack on it and it's not gonna do any good for me, so I just don't keep it in the house. And it just makes everything, it makes you feel better. Anybody who lives with you, they feel better, like they're all making like good decisions for themselves. And I'm about long-term healthy lifestyle, so I want to like be healthy long-term. And if like I'm keeping things in my house that I know that maybe aren't the best for me and I shouldn't really be snacking on that, I'm not really going to do that. Amy says, do you ever get discouraged in your weight loss journey? Okay, so like I said, I've competed for 3 years. I've competed 11 times, and getting discouraged through your weight loss journey is like the part of the game as far as like competing. And then also too with lifestyle, it's very easily get discouraged, because the body, when you're dieting, it's so particular. Like it could go through weeks where your like weight is going down, and all of a sudden you plateau, and then you have to figure out where can I change in order to go back down. So the body's continuously changing, your metabolism's continuously changing when you're going through a weight loss process. You'll easily get discouraged if you're going through a weight loss process, if you're like so set on losing weight every single week. You have to sort of trust the process, trust your body, put in the work. You know, like you're not gonna just wake up the next day losing weight. Put in the work, be consistent, and feel good about the process, and the weight's gonna go down. But yes, you will go through points where you're discouraged and frustrated, but you figure out, where do I make a change? How do I get better? And how do I move forward? Because the only way to move is forward. I need to feel good about everything that you do. So somebody said, Sam, you seriously look more amazing every time you post. What would you describe as your ideal perfect date? Ideal perfect date? I'm a very like relaxed person, and I like to just like chill. I like to go and get like good food, you know, like something like good to eat. I love like going out for a really nice meal, and then I like to like watch a movie or just like walk around. Like in LA, we get to like walk around a lot because the weather is pretty nice here. So I love to just like go for walks. I like to do stuff like that. That's more my personality, not actually to be like in a club scene or a party scene. I like to just like have fun and just do things maybe I wouldn't do, and just be adventurous. I don't know, maybe we'll drive somewhere that night that we would have never went to before, and we just like to have like a new experience. So I like to definitely like have fun, new experience, and walk around and like see things I've never seen before. Somebody said, how much do I weigh right now? I am not gonna share my weight right now. I will do that for another video when I do like my updated weight and stuff. Fitness Insta Famous says, why did you move to California? I moved to California because of the weather and the lifestyle, and you know, like making more connections here. If I need a videographer, it's very easy to get that. If I need some help with like doing like other things, like as far as the business end, it's very easy to get that. People here are very entrepreneur mindset here, so they're like there's people who have their own business for everything, and you definitely have a lot of great resources. You meet a lot of really cool people, and it doesn't, like I said, inspire you to really grind it out and give your best to your business or whatever you're doing. Give your best, because everybody here is literally grinding day by day in order to be successful, and they're living the lifestyle. Like I said, I want to live a really good lifestyle. It's not just about having money. It's not about being famous or whatever. It's about having a good lifestyle and being happy in where you live and the people you surround yourself with. And I could definitely say that I'm really happy being in California. Somebody says, how do you juggle your life, working out, eating healthy, and spending time with the ones you love? I'm a student, I work 4 days a week, and I need to take better care of my body, but it feels like there's never enough time in a day. So what I would say for you is to plan out your day the day before. Say, okay, well, I'm gonna wake up at this time to work out. I'm gonna wake up, or I'm gonna do this at this time. Like, I'm gonna be working from this amount of time to this amount of time, and then sort of plan out, okay, well, I could spend time with whoever at this time, and like we could do this, and sort of like just plan out your day. Not that you have to be like super strict, like on the dot, but sort of like have an idea of what you're doing the next day, just like mental clarity. That way you're not like flustered throughout the day, like, do I have time to do this? You know, like you can realistically make a plan for yourself the day before, 2 days before, whatever you need to do. And then as far as like the food's concerned, you obviously, with eating healthy and with really staying on track, you need to have food already made. So I would take maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, one of those days, or maybe 2 of those days, to just like bulk cook a bunch of like protein and vegetables and carbohydrates, or good carbohydrates, and have everything already like made, so that way you can just like scoop things out, measure it out, and be on your way. So that way, like, it just makes life easier as far as like having to cook every single day. If you are somebody who works at home, then that's more ideal. But if you aren't, if you are working, then you need to like make time for that and say, well, how am I gonna plan to make time for that? So everything in life, like, you need to figure out what works for you and your schedule, and you'll feel so much better once you know that you're planning things out and knowing that you can fit it in, and you won't be like so like over anxiety like about what you're doing. What's the best playlist to listen to while working out? I actually don't listen to music when I work out. If you guys remember before my videos when I was working out with my sister, I never listened to music because she was always with me, and Jess is somebody who has special needs, but she shuts down like if you aren't talking to her. So constantly talking, and I was just always used to working out like talking to her and like laughing and having fun. So what I do now, if I put something on, it'll be like Drake or Post Malone or 21 Savage. One of them will be like an ideal thing to put on. I don't have a specific playlist, but maybe I'll start making one. I've just gotten so used to like working out without music that I haven't gotten back into the habit of putting music on. Someone said, how did you find out how to fix your health issues? So I went and saw the doctor, and they told me all these things were wrong. And you know, you take that, and I've seen a bunch of doctors, and I've heard a lot of different things that is going on internally, right? And it has nothing to do with my nutrition or training. Understand that it's nothing to do with that. But in order, I can do something on my part to make it better. So what I needed to do was incorporate different foods in my diet, and I went and I saw another doctor who actually specializes in like preparing your hormones and what's the best way to do that. And you know, I've tried like a lot of different things, and I've figured out what really works for me, and I've seen like a lot of progress in the foods that person specifically recommended. I'll do a separate video on that. But as far as like having like the PCOS and just going through other things that I was diagnosed with, I had to really like be very strict with my diet and lower inflammation in the body. Really listen to, am I really hungry or am I just wanting to eat? And you have to figure out, like, it sounds really like people get confused with like eating, like take the fun out of eating. Eating is great, you know, eating is a part of life. It makes us feel good, it gives us energy, it can change your mood, right? Eating. But I was attaching emotions to eating, you know, like eating isn't, you shouldn't be eating to feel happy. You should be happy and then just eating because you're happy. Like, you know, like stop like saying like, well, if I eat like in 3 hours, like I'll be happy when I'm eating. And I don't want to attach emotions to eating. You know, like I want to eat to feel good. I want to eat for long-term health. I want to eat so that way I can maintain a healthy weight and healthy energy and be able to live a long-lasting healthy lifestyle. I'm very stressed on the fact that I want to live as long as a life as I can. And that's not selfish, that's just reality, that we in America especially, we get diagnosed with so many different things. And as far as like overeating and, you know, different stuff regarding food and our diets, and being very conscious of that is really important to me and something that I value. So I've done a lot of different research on food and learning what's really good for me and what isn't, and I feel absolutely amazing. They're probably the best I've ever had in over a year now. It says, do you eat any specific foods that aid in your PCOS health? So I do avoid like any types of like breads. Not that bread's bad, but it is a processed carbohydrate. So I don't eat like breads. I don't really eat too much rice, and I eat more of like sweet potatoes. I stopped really eating oatmeal. And I mean, it's not that like I'm avoiding all these foods permanently, but I do try to limit like my consumption of like the specific carbohydrates, and I don't want to have too much inflammation in the body, too many sugars. So I eat like very lean proteins like chicken breast, 99% lean ground turkey, egg whites, whole eggs. I eat, let's say, like lots of different vegetables, and I've definitely weaned down which vegetables I choose and which ones I don't. So I eat basically like lettuce, radishes, broccoli, asparagus, rice, cauliflower. They're all like go-tos for me. And I try to just make a conscious effort of drinking more water. So my diet is like not as wide variety as it was, for sure. I'm going to be perfectly honest, but I'm definitely eating for health. And like I said, so I need to, my health is the most important thing to me. And so I'll make a full video on exactly what I'm eating in a separate one, but that's basically like the gist of it. And then somebody said, how did you feel after a 24-hour fast? In the beginning of the day, it was totally fine. Like, I was chilling. It wasn't until I got to like 5 p.m. I think I just drank too much coffee. Because, you know, like, you know, if you can't eat, like, you like want something, you know? Because you're so used to eating that, you know, I was like drinking lots of coffee that day. And I think I just drank too much coffee. And then I had to like sort of chug lots of water. And I wind up eating around like 8 p.m. So I went through like a 20-hour fast. And it wasn't bad. Like, I could definitely do it again. I just like wouldn't drink so much coffee. It's, my body like has enough body fat on it. I would not do this if like I was super lean or whatever. I would not do this. I would not recommend this. This is me like just sort of bringing out some normalcy in my weight and getting to like a maintenance. You know, like I need to strip down a lot of extra body fat so that way I can get to a maintenance, and then I will reverse diet back up. This is not forever, and I want people to understand that I'm not saying that I would do this forever. You just need to, with anything, you need to diet down and reverse diet back up. So that's what I'm doing. Somebody said, my glutes are uneven. How do you check which one is not working properly? How do I find out this? One has a nicer under butt cut and the other another one isn't. I do a lot of hip thrusts. I've learned that they make this cut disappear because the main muscles to work here are hamstrings and the lower part of the glutes. Therefore, we build the muscle under the butt and lose the roundness down there. Is this true? P.S. I like your videos from Poland. Thank you so much. And as far as like having uneven glutes, I would definitely do single leg hip thrusts, do single leg movements. As far as whatever you're doing, like Bulgarian split squats, single leg squats, single leg kickbacks, you know, like isolate each leg and sort of challenge the other one, that's so that way it can pick up and sort of reach like the other glute and like bring out that same roundness and fullness. And you definitely, if something is uneven, if a body part is uneven from one side to the other, you definitely want to work that a little bit more and challenge that one a little bit more by doing single isolation movement. How tall are you? I'm 5'3.5", maybe 5'4", I don't know. Doctors tell me in between one of those two. So I need your flat stomach. I've gained so much visceral fat. What is the key to a flat stomach? I definitely don't have a flat stomach. My stomach has gone down, and I would say attribute that to 100% is diet. 100%. I'm not really doing that much cardio. I did increase my cardio, but I'm not doing that much cardio. It's 100% diet and like foods that reduce like bloating, really just eating more whole food sources, drinking lots of water, avoiding like artificial stuff, processed stuff, you know, anything that's really causing harm in the body. You really want to try to avoid that. So I would say like try not to buy things in a box, try to make things in their whole food form, and eat more like resistant starches. That really helped me by eating more resistant starches. And if you aren't sure about resistant starches, like I said, definitely check out that video. It definitely helped with like my stomach. Black Crawford lipstick said, would you ever consider going vegan or vegetarian, and have you watched What the Health documentary? Yes, I've watched What the Health documentary. Would I ever consider going vegan or vegetarian? I was vegan for 2 years, 2 whole years. I had a full phase of veganism. I could show some photos here, and I have nothing, like, I don't want to say anything bad about any sort of diet, because, you know, people go into certain diets for different health reasons, but if you're becoming vegan or vegetarian in order to be thin, then that's the wrong reasons of going into veganism or vegetarianism. It's just for your weight, because, you know, it's not, you don't have to be that way in order to be X amount of weight. But if you're concerned with other things as far as health reasons or animals or whatever you feel like, definitely go for it. But as far as veganism, for me, I felt amazing on it. I really did feel good. But as far as building solid muscle mass, I wasn't building as quickly as I wanted to, and it was just becoming like a battle as I stayed very, very thin, and I wasn't really like getting like lots of lean mass that I wanted. And then my immune system dropped a lot because I was low on like vitamin B12, vitamin D, and I was doing so much research on all different vitamins, making sure I ate like nutritional yeast, taking other supplements myself, and I was like doing everything I could to make sure I was getting all my vitamins in, but still my immune system dropped. And I got sick a lot, so, and it wasn't making sense to me. I read the book The Thrive Diet, and he was a guy who's very, very knowledgeable in veganism, and he's very successful with it, and it's just like my body just wasn't reacting right. Like I said, I was very thin, but my immune system dropped, and I knew I didn't feel the best that I knew I could. So I started incorporating some eggs and some chicken back into my diet, and I haven't gotten sick like that since. So I'm not saying that veganism is going to make you sick or whatever. For me personally, it lowered my immune system, and I said to myself, if I'm eating and then lowering my immune system, that's not something I want long term for me, and I don't want to have to like eat tons of carbs and do all these things. It just wasn't ideal in my situation. So I have nothing bad to say about it. It was just my own experience. So I love meat, I love my diet, I love that I'm very balanced, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I don't want to be labeled as one or the other, but I do like to try to incorporate some vegan meals and some vegetarian meals if I feel like doing so. So I'm not like against any one or the other. What's your favorite workout for your body? I love doing kickbacks, I love doing deadlifts, I love doing anything for your butt. I do love training my glutes. Like when you get that glute pump. There's nothing like that glute pump. So I would definitely say deadlifts are like probably one of my favorite exercises. Not having a squat rack or a deadlift bar in my apartment gym is something that I do definitely miss, because deadlifting makes me feel very powerful and strong, and feels like I can lift anything, and it just makes you feel amazing, and you do get a really great glute and hamstring pump. So I would definitely say it's my favorite exercise. Somebody said, Salty Sam KW, do you take any type of supplements, vitamins? What's your favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner snack? So I don't take any supplements or vitamins currently. I knocked everything out. So maybe I'll incorporate a fish oil here and there, but I don't take anything right now. I don't want any artificial stuff. I don't want anything that's gonna cause like harm internally. So I've taken away all my supplements. And then what's your favorite breakfast, lunch, dinner snack? My favorite breakfast is when I mix the rice cauliflower, the rice broccoli with an egg and some egg whites, and I put seasonings on there with avocado. It's so good. I mix a little bit of coconut oil, and it's a perfect meal for me. I feel completely satisfied. I love making big salads for either lunch or dinner. Huge salads. If you've watched my videos, you know that I'm like the salad queen. And me and Victoria, if you guys know Victoria, my best friend Victoria, we constantly, when she was here, made big salads, and I still do that every single day. And I've been making salads since probably like day one of all my bodybuilding stuff. So I love salads. And then as far as snacks, I love the fried plantains. I make that with coconut oil. If you haven't seen my video on the fried plantains, check it out. They're so good. They're very low calorie, and they're high in resistant starch, so they're super good for you, and they're like my favorite snack. What's your advice on cellulite? I am mostly in the front of my thighs. Is there any hope that with diet and training that it diminishes? My advice on cellulite, you would need to lose the weight. The cellulite comes from like the extra weight, maybe too many added fats, too many like bad fats that you like probably shouldn't be ingesting, maybe too high, like there's too much inflammation to like, if you're eating carb sources that are causing too much inflammation, that can also cause it. And I would say really cleaning up the diet, making sure you're eating lots of whole food things, and stripping that excess body fat. As you strip excess body fat, as your skin gets tighter, as you get tighter, the cellulite will go away. I've seen it myself firsthand, and I've seen it with tons of girls that I've worked with. When they lose the weight, when they get tighter, the cellulite diminishes. And if you were to do anything further, that would be like surgery wise, and I wouldn't really recommend that. If you could really get a good training program, a good nutrition program to follow, you'll be very successful with that and lose that cellulite. Alright guys, that is it for the Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed it and was able to really address as many questions as I could. I really love doing this, so I like to do this every like few months, whether it's through Instagram or Snapchat. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and Snapchat to keep up to date. That way, if you do have a question coming up, you'll be able to see when I post it. I'll be doing another Q&A. You can ask whatever you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it really helpful. I love you, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Bye!